Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. Do I need to say it? God. When you're looking at mornings like this, it is not hard to see why this is my favourite time of day, is it? Absolutely stunning conditions. I'm going sharking. I've got a long way to go. Tide's just coming up. What I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to go straight offshore, like steam a long way offshore to catch the tide so I can drift all day with wind and tide together. That is the plan. I'm hoping that I can, you know, like when they say that the early bird catches the worm? Well, it's the early hiker that gets all the cobwebs, isn't it? Yeah. I'm hoping to try and pick some bait up on the way so I can just steam straight out there. I'll explain like all the tackle on my chum, my bags, my rods and reels, all that sort of stuff as I'm doing it. Who can't enjoy looking at something like that? Let's go. Well, you got me there. Every time I see him, it doesn't matter how many times you've seen these guys, he's always wonderful to see. Let's get where I'm going. I have got where I'm going. I'm well offshore now. It wasn't the best start. I struggled to find bait, to be honest. I only managed to find little tiny joys and one poor cod. So what I've done is I've got myself out here and I am just using a set of mackerel feathers and baiting them with a little tiny bit of that poor cod. It really was a poor cod by the time I'd finished with him. And I'm using this to catch some whiting. Usually what I would do is the first thing when I get to where I'm going is I would put the chum bag out. Drop the chum bag out, start a chum slick, then get my bait set out. I didn't do that in this order today because I've had it happen before. Stick the chum bags out and if there's sharks in the area they come straight round the boat. As I'm catching whiting on the bottom and bringing them up, the sharks take them. So what I want is I want to be able to catch some hook baits before I start properly shark fishing. Now fortunately I've managed to latch into two whiting straight away, so I've run one out immediately here on this rock. Now that's my deep bait, I've set that one quite deep. I'm going to catch 2 or 3 more whiting and then I'm going to stick my chum bag straight out over the side. Now hopefully it's not going to take too long because, oh no, there we go, straight away. Just like that. Yeah, I was going to say it shouldn't take too long because the whiting have just arrived. I get half a dozen whiting as hook baits and I'll chuck the chum bag over. But I'm pleased to see these guys. You can see these fulmars around the back of the boat. I'm pleased to see them because they are the best bite alarm you can get. I'll explain that in a second. Oh no. That's a little red gurnard. Now these are actually really good to eat, but only when they're bigger. This one's too small. You catch them around £2, they are stunning eating. Oh, also covered in spines. You can catch sharks without using chum. There are some skippers that don't use any. They don't catch very many sharks. The fundamental to having a successful I can't even say it. The fundamental to having a successful shark fishing session is a good chum slick. Now I make all my own chum at home. Anytime I'm coming back from a wrecking trip or anything else and I've got some bait left over, like when you've got a pack of squid and you've opened it and you haven't used it all and it's all gone pink, or you've been out on the shore and you've used some bluey and you didn't use it all and you can't reuse it because it's gone soft, I stick it all in a bucket in the freezer, and then when the bucket's full I grind it all up and mix it with some fish oil and some bran, and that's how I make my shark chum. Now I do freeze mine. I do have it in frozen blocks. I make it up in batches over winter, so now I've got an entire freezer full of it. Because when the shark fishing switches on, you don't want to have to stop halfway through to waste a day making chum. There is a video on the Fish Locker Workshop channel showing you how I make my chum. Right, I've got a couple of baits now. I put my chum in a laundry sack, well, doubled up laundry sack. Here it is in here. Still frozen. Like I say, I like to use frozen because I feel like it thaws out gradually and slowly releases. Today shouldn't be too bad because we're not slopping around too much. But sometimes you can get it when you're really, like a really rough day. Your chum just gets smashed up with the waves. Oh, come on! There you go. There we go. Yeah, with the boat rocking around and the splashing of the waves, your chum just gets all smashed up and just gets washed out really quick. This rod here, my first shark session of the year, it was a catastrophe as far as things could go wrong. I smashed 2 eyes, one on each rod, and I broke a handle off a reel. So I've since got replacement eyes on the rod. And on this rod, which had a snapped handle, I've now got a Gamexus just plug and play handle. So this is the first time I've used this. This is a conflict tuna popping rod, and this is a Spinfisher live liner, and I think it's a 6,500. Yeah, 6,500. Now I've got 60 or 70 pound braid and 100 pound rubbing leader on these. My shark traces come in 2 parts. I have a rig body that incorporates a lead, and on the other end I have a detachable hook length. The reason why I like detachable hook length is because this is the part that's going to see the most damage, see the most wear. Come on. So rather than having your tracers one whole piece, so that if the end foot gets damaged I have to throw the whole lot, now I just change out the hook length. Also, sometimes these are circle hooks. These are Cox & Roll Mutsu Extra. This is SCR 45 and it's 12 O's. And there, look, I've crushed the barb on them to help it easily unhook. Sometimes if these are in an awkward place and you can't T-bar them off, what you can do is you can turn the hook and pull the whole trace out through the other way. Like that. I'll show you when I've knocked the bait up. There we are. Cut up one of the whiting. All I've done is just flapped it off. Just take my circle hook and I'm hooking it right up through underneath both jaws, through the hard part of the head. Like that. And then I'm just going to run the bait on it. Now, as the chum's released from the bag, and I'm drifting along that way, it's going to sink. So, where I first started, I don't know how well you can see it, there's the slick there. As it goes away, and it's, well, I've probably drifted best part of half a mile since I started now. Where I first started, that might be all the way at the seabed. I mean 89 metres of water. So it makes sense that the furthest float away would be set deeper, so it stays in the chum slick. You do sometimes get sharks that just come in along the surface. I mean, they are really exciting to see, because you see them from right the way back there and they've got both the dorsal and the tail fin out, and they just come in like a bullet. And there's other ones where you will never know they're there. They're right down deep. So present a bait at all depths. like I was saying about these fulmars, the reason why I like having fulmars around, well, I've gathered, I've probably got 40 of them with me now, is I don't know how they know, but when there's a shark in the area, they know. And they all take off. I mean, you can see them all now, they're all sat just round the boat, just milling around, pecking on little bits of the chum slick. When a shark turns up, they will take off. They will, and they're real skittish, they won't land on the water. So yeah, they are a brilliant bite alarm. Anyway, I'm going to get myself all tidied up. The main thing about this, and I hope I showed it in the last video, because the last video was just crazy how it worked out. I ended up, because I had a damaged porcelain on one of my rod rings, I parted the line and I ended up having to chase after it. I could see the float down the bottom of the slick, so I started the engine and I went after it and I pulled it in by hand. Now, if I hadn't been organised, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So yeah, keep everything off the deck that you don't need. I mean, right in front of me, I've got my T-bar, second T-bar, gloves, my tags. Everything that I'm going to need is right here to hand. Everything else is out of the way. Right, I'm going to go and see about catching some more baits now. There's a shark free swimming around the boat. It's about 15 metres away. Yeah, that shark there must have come right down the slick, gone round the boat, and I saw it swimming that way, just out here. I need to get my sunglasses on, I need to get some polarised lenses on the job. Like I say, he was right up on the surface. Wasn't a massive fish. Maybe only around, back that off a little bit. Yeah. Maybe only around £30. But yeah, there's a shark. We've been drifting now for best part of 30 minutes. Got our first shark on the boat. There. Oh, you little bugger. This is a big bait. That shark sat pulling at it. Yeah, like I say, this fish is only maybe about 5 foot long. And that whiting bait that I put out is a big bait. So he's probably not big enough to get it in his mouth fully. Yeah, polarised lenses can help you cut through the glare on the water. Clarity that we've got today isn't great. The water's quite green. If that fish hadn't been on the surface, if his dorsal hadn't been sticking out, I wouldn't have seen him. But it's a good sign. Perfect baits. Perfect size baits. All them birds have just taken off in a big way. All them birds there just at the back of the slick all just took off all at once in a big way. He's just gone as well. One right down at the end, the one fulmer that was left, he's just taken off as well. I don't know if you can see all the birds now. They're all just sat in one group here, all looking that way. It's happened like 3 times now. They're being really, really finicky today. Mouth the bait, pulling it a little bit. Pull a couple of clicks of drag, pull the float under just a little tiny bit. That could be little paw beagle sharks. Small porgies tend to do that. Yeah, little porgies feed differently. Blues, they're quite docile. They just come in and get a bait and move off. Porgies will get hold of it and shake it like that. So you'll see the float kind of bobbing, and generally when a blue picks it up, the float will just go under the water. Porgy can kind of like move around a little bit. Yeah, and these ones have been like just enough to pull like that much drag, so you know there's one there. Just making me work that little bit harder today, aren't they? Come on, do that again. got you. Yeah, it was just playing with it. Just saw the float bob one more time, and that was it. Much rather play them out there. Oh no, I don't see you come off. Oh, you little sod. Just about to say, I'd much rather play them out there, because you don't get a very good angle on them when they're right underneath the boat. Oh well. It was a little bit of fun at least, but yeah, that was right next to the boat when that took. Wasn't a big fish. If it was a big fish, it would have just absolutely screamed off. But it shows her around. Like I didn't see that fish. That fish was, however deep that is, it might have been swimming around. Well, it could have been swimming around at 6 foot, and I still wouldn't have seen it. But yeah, just goes to show, just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. Down on my bait. Holy crap! That is a flipping big shark. That one. That's not the little one. That shark that was swimming around the boat was about 20 pound. That one down there was about 120 pound. That was flipping massive, that one. There's your little one. Come on, where's your dad? No exaggeration, that shark that just turned on that was absolutely flipping massive. There we go, there's one of them. I don't think it's the big one. No, it's not. No, this is the little one. It's woken up now. That one that turned on that bait down there was probably the biggest shark I've seen this year. There you go. They're stunning looking fish, aren't they? Yeah, like I say, this one probably about 30 pound. The other one down there was 5 times as big as this guy. He was an absolute flipping monster. Right, this is Noah tag number 413331. There you go, there's the tag. I want to know where that bigger one went. I want to find that big one. Get my cell organised, get another tag on my stick. It's not uncommon when you're feeding a bait out like this, when you've got sharks around the boat, for them to pick it up as it's running away from the boat. Got you. What was I saying about them picking it up on the way from the boat? See what I mean about having them round the boat competing against each other? This shark is a little bit smaller. I put this one at being about 20 to 25. Sorry, this one is Noah tag number 413334. Finally. Hopefully that big one's still down there. But they've all been on the shallow bait. So there's either there's either no bait left on that deep one, or all the fish today are on shallow. Well, that was good. That was 2 sharks and 2 tags deployed. I've only actually got 1 tag left. So I'm going to try. If I catch any more small ones, I'm not going to bother tagging them. I'm just going to hang on and see if I can't catch that big one. Oh, that was a bite. That was a bite on the deeper rod there. Quickly get my life in order. But yeah, just like I was saying about sharks, when they're around the boat, when they're competing with each other, they just throw all caution to the wind and they're straight on it. I mean, that bait that I dropped out, I've been in the water seconds before it had a shark on it. I'll tag some information into the description of the video about these. These are recapture tags. So what I'll do is I'll fill out these forms with, both of those fish were female, by the way. Fill out with these with like the length, the location, the sex, the estimated weight, any scars or anything like that, any identifiable features, so that if these sharks are re-caught, then that information is the same information is collated, so that the marine scientists at NOAA can track things like migration rates, growth rates, and like concentration of like animals by sex. Saying like, oh well, the males will go one way and the females will go another way and stuff like that. I hope I can latch into that big shark because it was monstrous. It was a flipping monster. Like, I mean, I'm pretty good at estimating the weight of sharks because I've seen that many of them. That was well in excess of £100. Got ya. No! Oh, you are kidding me! After all that, it never set the hook. That was a bigger fish, that. After all that, and it still never set the hook properly. Like I said, a crafty today. can see where he's lashed it. Yeah, given where them bite marks were, that fish must have come in from a side and taken it, just missed the hook and just had it tight in its mouth. So much so that even when like it ran and I had the rod bent into it, there just wasn't the hook in its mouth. We just pulled the bait straight up. Got you. What are you doing? Just run straight to the boat. He just wanted to see who I was. Just ran straight to the boat. And as soon as he come up and had a look at me, he was like, nah, I'm going. Well, there's another one. I'm in a dilemma now. Do I tag this one? Because I might not get another. But if I tag this one and then I catch a bigger one afterwards, I've got no tags left. Work with what you got. That next fish isn't guaranteed. Straight down. That come just after I've changed that chum bag. So yeah, he was maybe hanging around at the back of the slick, just not really fancying it. As soon as I changed that chum bag and it was more and more and more scent, he was having it. Yeah, that was bigger than I originally estimated. There you go, look, just flap it off waiting. I'm gonna have to go back to bottom fishing now because I've only got one bait left. The shark just hit the back float. Come on, where are you? There it is. This feels like a better fish. Come on, up you come. There's a lot of weight behind this fish. No. Two sharks on at the same time. This isn't what I wanted. Especially considering that this one here feels like it's a very big one. Where you at? Come on, where you at? It's no longer at 35, it's at 45. Wishing I'd held on to them tags now. Come on, where are you? Right, that is a big shark. Now that guy is well over 100. Well over 100. That guy is an absolute monster. He is well over 100 pounds. One, two, three. Get out. Well, the camera died off just as I was T-barring that fish off there, but I've still got a fish on here. Yeah, so that was a double hookup. That was what you don't want to happen. That's the problem with fishing solo and fishing two rods. That shark that I had there, that one that I've just unhooked, I really wish I'd kept them tags, because that shark there was well in excess of £100. I don't know if that was the one that I saw earlier on and it's just been following us all day, but that fish there was an absolute monster. Could have really done with another person there with me, because as I was trying to bring this rod in, another shark picked it up, so I just had to kind of lay the rod down with a bit of drag on and let the shark take some line. So now I've got a lot of line to make back. I thought to myself when I'd done it with that tag, when I used that tag, I thought I'm going to end up regretting that. Yeah, that was a big fish. It ran straight for the bottom and then just sat there. But the last one really did give me a workout. Just couldn't do anything with the weight because it was straight up and down. Straight up and down, you need a harder rod. Well, you need a stiffer rod and you need a multiplier. That fixed spool rod's perfect for the smaller ones, and when they want to run. That one just wanted to stay down on the seabed. That is another big shark, that. These are 50. There he is. Fought yourself out, didn't you? Another lovely fish. See there, every single one has been hooked right in the corner of the mouth. That's what the circle hooks are perfect for. No claspers, so it's a female. Yeah, of about £50. You notice there when they go on the backs, it's like tonic and mobility. They shut their eyes. Well, they've got like a membrane that goes over their eyes, look. Stunning blue. And I got the bait back. I need a minute to kind of collect myself, because through the middle of that I had a camera stop working, so I had to change cameras over, I had to change batteries. I need to get all my baits sorted again, I need to catch another bait, yeah. Like what I said about earlier, about being prepared. Like I was as prepared as I could be and it still went wrong for me. Two lovely fish there. Trying to catch some more baits and all I can catch is these. A little bit too big for hook bait. Now I don't know if you can see the conditions now, the tide's just about to turn. We're going to have wind against tide, which is going to make it a little tiny bit sloppy. I want to carry on this drift for another hour and a half. We have already drifted best part of 7 miles. Now, because all the sharks have been really finicky, I mean I've probably lost nearly as many fish as I've landed today, just because they've been really shy on the bites. I've tried to rig a camera looking at one of the baits. It might end terribly, it might just end up with like losing a camera, a camera being bitten by a shark. But yeah, I've tried to rig a camera showing you one of the baits. It might not have worked at all, in which case this won't even be in the video. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. The biggest issue that we faced was the swell making the camera jump up and down, but we did manage to catch this very inquisitive blue shark having a look at the bait. Then out of the gloom comes this fella. Investigates and then bam, in from a side takes the bait. This footage also shows how the smaller sharks, by taking the bait from the side, end up missing the hook. This is what's been happening earlier on today. A larger bait, the smaller sharks can't put it all in its mouth, so it misses the hook. See ya. I don't know if you saw that seagull there, it was just real skittish. That shark's here. Doesn't feel like a bad shark, this. Unfortunately, it wasn't the one with the camera on it. I have not been having much luck with cameras today. Just keep latching into fish. Let this be a lesson to anybody else who wants to do this type of thing or wants to make videos. When your batteries get to 20%, change them. Don't think, oh, I'll tell you what, yeah, I'll just hang on for a little bit longer. No, just change them. When they get to 30%, change them. Because twice now I've got to the point in time where I've been playing a fish for that long that I don't get to show the whole fight and release, just because the batteries run out by the time I've done it. I've gone down to one rod. I am going to be, I don't know, you can probably see the conditions of. Yeah, the conditions aren't as nice as they were when we first came out. This is that wind against tide that I was talking about. Still running a half decent slick. So I'm going to fish this one bait out for another half an hour, see if I can't pull out that last bonus fish. I'm sure there are still sharks there in the slick because the birds have been real skittish. Finally, that one last fish. I was just thinking to myself, I've got a couple of things left to tidy up. And then I'll bring that line in and it's just gone. It is only a baby, but I tell you what, he's full of spunk. Turn round. Stop it. Turn round. I do not mind ending there. I've lost count of the number of sharks I've caught. I've lost 4 or 5 and I've seen loads. If I'd had someone with me today and we could have kept 2 rods in the water. Oh, I did have a double look up and all. Yeah, tagged a few sharks, caught an absolute giant. Brilliant. I'm off home. I hope you enjoyed joining me. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.